80% of you are for it. There we go. But if we change the name to a death tax, 80% of you are against it. A complete reversal. And on to my final interesting example. If you're standing anywhere near a Cinnabon store, or maybe even a Mrs. Fields Cookies, you're going to be 3 times more likely to help a stranger than if you're just standing by a traditional retail outlet. Now, all of these are fairly surprising. Why are they surprising? It's because we can't explain a single one of them with our marketing models. With everything we've been trained and everything, we can't explain it. We have to come to the naked truth that the models we were raised on and the models economists were raised on are wrong. That's the bad news. The good news is there's been a complete explosion in how the mind works. There's so much knowledge out there now. And the headline is, it doesn't work the way we thought it did. But why should you listen to me? Well, 20 years ago, when I came to this country, I had the good fortune of working with, thanks to the resources of the Coca-Cola Company, of working with Gerald Zaltman, one of the world's leading sociologists. He gave me the basics on how the mind works and completely piqued my interest, and as I was saying this morning, it actually changed everything. He launched me on a whole decades-long journey working with experts around the world to just understand how our minds work. It was fascinating to me. And it was all within the perspective of one question. What is most valuable to marketers? So, let me see if within a few minutes and 2 flip chart pages, I can tell you this here, what I've learned. Let me just give you some headlines. You probably know the mind looks something like this. You probably also know it's full of neurons. You may not know there's 100 billion of them, but you know there's a lot of them. You probably also know that the power is not in the neurons, but it's in the firing synapses, the fact that lemons are hot. You're probably also aware of this thing called cognitive biases, these seeming irrational behaviors that we have that actually can be attributed to long ago mental connections. And you're probably also aware of it, though you might not know it in these words, that we are of 2 minds. We have 2 modes of processing. There's our conscious, which is slow, deliberate, and effortful. I liken it to learning a second language. Je m'appelle Anne. There's our non-conscious processor that is fast, effortless, and automatic. Je voudrais aller en France à Paris. It happens in an instant. But here's where the problem is. Our non-conscious processor is the foundation of economic theory, which is the foundation of marketing theory, or I should say it has been. And we were told to believe that it was our actions that were driven, and our motivations that were driven by our conscious mind. No wonder we've spent our careers listening to you through our research and talking to the conscious mind. It's what we thought drove actions. Sadly, that isn't the case. So what do I wish all marketers understood about the non-conscious processor? I wish they understood 3 things. 1, that our mind is associative. We make sense of the world by taking incoming data and connecting it to what's already in our memories. It really is a mental game of connect the dots. My favorite story comes from my son when he was 3 years old. A friend of mine drove up to the house in a convertible. Charlie had never seen a convertible before, and he was very puzzled. He studied it, and then he turned to me with the biggest smile on his face, and he said, "Look, Mommy, a car with no hat." And in that instance, he demonstrated how our minds work, that we take the familiar and connect it, we take the unfamiliar, and connect it to the familiar. And by the way, we're doing it very quickly, at about 11 million bits per second, coming in through all of our senses. Now, by the way, we are a visually dominant species, so we're most comfortable with our sense of sight. With all these firing neurons over here, 2/3 of them are visual. We think in pictures. We don't think in words. So if you want to communicate with me as quickly as possible, even if they're rudimentary drawings, we think in pictures. The second, I can't even count, thought is primarily below our level of awareness. You know those 11 million bits that are coming at us every second? 50 50 are going into our conscious processor. 50. We like to use an iceberg to illustrate our mental processing because it's just the tip that we can see. Less than 5%, the scientists tell us, are our conscious processor. I'll let you do the math to see just how much sits beneath our surface of awareness. But what's sitting in here in our non-conscious processor? It's our memories, it's our experiences, it's our stories, it's our sense of self, it's who we are, and it's constantly processing. But two important things you need to know: we don't have control of what's going on down there. Neither do we have access. So if you ask me why I do what I do, oh, I'll give you a pretty good answer. But it's going to be my conscious mind trying to explain, because I have no introspection capabilities. I do not know why I do what I do. Which leads to the third thing, which is decisions are primarily a function of feelings, not thinking. Feelings and emotions are our signaling system between our conscious and our non-conscious processor. Tapping into my memories and memories and experience. Do I want to approach? Do I want to withdraw? Do I like it? Do I not like it? It's our signaling system to our conscious mind. Now, I do not want to suggest that our conscious mind does not get involved in our decisions, because it absolutely does. It's a very minor role in comparison to our non-conscious processor. Basically, it's at the beginning, filtering. Oh, that's too expensive, that's too far away, I want blue. And it's also at the end to justify the decisions we've already made. There is absolutely no question that it is the non-conscious processor that plays the major role in our actions. So this basic outline here provides a very powerful lens through which to look at those seen marketing anomalies. So let's go back to those for a minute. Our minds are associative. Over time, low price has meant low quality, which in an energy drink means low potency. That's not that surprising. What's surprising is those expectations are so powerful that they actually impact product performance. This is no different from the widely understood placebo effect in medicine, the idea that we get what we expect. But come on, I bet you could change the formula of this and cut out half the caffeine, and it wouldn't even affect product performance. But how easily do we change pricing? How easily do we discount? That little tiny clock on the wall, it was coming in here into your non-conscious processor with that 11 million bits of data. 50% improvement in speed and delivery and effectiveness of your ad through the non-conscious processor. Estate taxes, ooh, that's quickly triggering wealthy, quickly triggering, not me, you better believe I'm for that. Death taxes, whoa, that's a completely different chain of events. You better believe I'm against it. Words matter. The words you choose set off a chain of events that can impact your brands. And finally, whoops, a little too fast there. And finally, the smells of Cinnabon, the aromas, the baking. Of course it makes me feel good, and I'm going to help someone. But how many implicit messages are reaching your customer through all of their senses before they actually ever get to you, setting you up for an unexpected exchange potential? I could go on for pages and pages of this, of examples, but I think you get the point. And the point is, it's our non-conscious processor that wields immense power. It is the drivers of our decision-making.